Hey guys, how's she going today? Well, it's a real rainy, shitty day outside, so it's a perfect day for welding in the shop. So Dad's been working on his bulldozer all morning, and we need to run the hydraulics on it now so that we can we've got some washers to put in to take up some of the sloppiness and some of those knuckles that he made on the cylinders there. So we got to run the hydraulics with the 835 to move it around and whatnot, but since it's kind of a crap-tastic day out, we don't really want to have the big door open, let all the heat out and all the rain in. So on the back of the ton here, there is 20 some feet of 1-inch hydraulic hose with male couplers on one end and female couplers on the other, and we're going to just lay them under the door, the big door, and run them from the bulldozer to the back of the 835, and then we can run our hydraulics that way and move everything around the way it needs to be. So I'm going to get all this strung out here. I will talk to you here in a few minutes. Well, it was a good idea, but it ain't gonna work. Those are 1-inch couplers, and we don't have 1-inch fittings on the bulldozer, obviously. What this used to be is it was on that 60-foot toolbar out in the field there, out in the pasture. And you can see this set here, and that runs all the way back up to the tractor and hooks in there at the proprietor valve, and that is what runs your hydraulic fan. So on that other drill, like on this tank, it's set up for 1 inch, whereas this was the smaller half-inch lines, like everything's half-inch. So what we ended up doing, and I forgot already, I mean, it's been a year, that's a long time to remember. We left all this 1 inch on the tank, but we made some fittings here and adapted it down to what it needed to be, because I don't know why they figured they needed so much hose on here for so much flow, because it's the same size fan and motor running at the same speed as what my old tank was that used the half-inch hose. So we necked it down, and it had no issues running it all last year. So anyway, we're gonna back the tractor up through here and just leave it hooked up long enough to the hydraulics to get things how they need to be, and then we'll unhook and get it out of the way again so we can shut the big door. Be ready when you put your ground back on. The big 3/16 rod. So while he's welding, I'll fill you in on what he did here. So the hitch is 1/4 inch thick, you can see there. And then originally is just the big bolt on each side here. And when we change the angle, it's more like a shearing motion, right? Because when it's on the air seeder, it's a flat pull. But here, at an angle, it wants to shear it. And it ripped the metal out around the bolt there, on the top and the bottom. So, it's got 1-inch plate in there now, boxed in on each side, so it's all one part and it's not pulling on the bolt anymore. And then the other thing we noticed is when he was running it, it was bowing like this. So he put this big cross piece in up here, and that helped a lot. But then further down here, you could see it was doing this, just from being so long. So it's got just like a bridge now. What he did is he hooked the tractor up and backed up so that it was sprung the opposite direction, and welded that in place, and then let it go, and then straightened out and pulled everything tight. And here it's, when you tap on it, it sounds like a spring, which is what you want when you're trying to do that. So now when it tries to bow up, it's going to be pulling against it because it got welded while it was bowed. And if it tries to move down, it's going to be pulling against it because, well, it's trying to stretch it down and pull, right? So I think it's going to be pretty close to indestructible now. And what he's doing right now, he's got some big rods there and filling in, and see how wore these pins are. He's like, I can stick my finger in there. So he's filling in a bunch of that gap with lava. And then we've got washers there that are going to go in here. You can see how that has just enough room that it can lean at a bit of an angle in there, which isn't very good. There's going to be a washer on each side just to square that up. So that's why we need the hydraulics here to kind of get everything where it wants to be. But I guess we'll talk to you here in a few.
Looks good.
There we go. little bit of a slower day since it was rainy and gross out, so there wasn't much done outside on anything. And then Antoine there, he's gone to the city today because there's a big sale on at the one place for batteries, so he's gone there, so that's why you didn't see him today. And now it's 6:30, so supper time, and we didn't get the washers put on the bulldozer, but you can see when he was beating the that big pin back in, he'd built that up with a little bit of flat iron bent around it and welded it on, pounded it back into place, so it's hell of a lot less sloppy than it was before. And then well, it's been trying to rain, so the current is really thumping across here now. It's down from where it was yesterday. Yesterday when I came across and opened the door, it was right right there. If it would have been any higher, water it would have been washing the floor mats out in the old Chevy, but anyway, so that's what went on today. Like I said, it's kind of a slower day. And then Dad's friend there, old Kevin with that tool boss, he was gone to the city as well, so Dad is back in his glory days there, babysitting cows, because there used to be a couple hundred of them around here about 15 years ago. It was the last time there were cows here, but so Dad offered to watch those for him. And yeah, so that's what is happening around here today. So I'm gonna go in the house and have a bite to eat, and then I think it's gonna be time to shut her down. And then tomorrow it's supposed to be a nice day. One of the big winds we had there this winter blew one of the doors off the barn, so I gotta get that put on, because in 4 days here I've got 350 chickens coming, little baby chicks, so gotta get the barn ready for that. So that's what's gonna be on the agenda for tomorrow. So I guess you want to see some whole bunch of chickens here in a little bit, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more, and we'll talk to you guys later.